My name is Gale Smith, and I'm a retired businessman of many years. It wasn't fulfilling me, it wasn't giving me purpose. So for some reason I started instinctively a foundation, and I couldn't hardly spell it, and most people were not trained to do that, you know? But I just knew that much at least, and I talked to my attorney and things like that, and the Smith Family Foundation was born. One thing became very clear to me early on is that my motto would always be that the secret of living is giving. And then it was quite a journey to identify. It's not easy to figure out exactly why you put her, because in my case, I'd actually hired somebody, and they kept pushing back because my mission had been, prior to that, is serving youth worldwide or whatever, but it was too ambiguous. And so in the final analysis, to make a long, long story very short, is that my purpose ended up being facilitating philanthropy. Facilitating philanthropy, making philanthropy easier. Philanthropy essentially is just giving back, it's giving. And people who are involved in philanthropy, typically, I've found through reading, are for one of two reasons: either the love of mankind or it makes them feel good. I'm never going to be a Mother Teresa. It just makes me feel good. I have no doubt that God's hand is on this, because there's no other explanation for why I would be here. Okay, I had no intention of being down here. When I started the foundation, I was literally looking in the paper because in my DNA, I needed to go help somebody. That was just, hope it doesn't sound self-serving, but it's, I found a little school, an African-American school, and I was able to go help. I called her, and I'm sure she'd been praying to God, probably, because I went over and helped her for 3 years. In the process, in other words, I gave a pretty sizable amount a couple of years in a row, and then I got $1 million loan for her. And I had gone through this little school. There was 200 little black kids in there, and they were reciting Shakespeare and reading like 2 grades ahead, and she'd been struggling for years, and that was a great joy. First of all, this block that I bought here, I was out of bankruptcy, and there's a lot of political problems down there, and it's not for the weak at heart to take something like that on. I just thank God I was too dumb to know any better, because I have been here for 7 years, 6 days a week for 7 years. And as I've done surgery on this thing, there was 21 parcels that make this block up. It was in bankruptcy. I was able to tear down 6 of the buildings that are so far beyond any conceivable repair. Had to go to court and a lot of things, and that's done. So the heavy lifting is now behind me. Just recently, this garden over here is a result of a bar back here that was costing 2,500 calls a year to the police department is gone. We closed them in 60 days, and that bar is not even there. There was 40 people in the street there, and the prostitution and the drugs going in that thing was incredible. Then the building down here in the corner, I had to go to court on that thing over a number of times, and we were able to tear this building down, and as a result of that, see, all that gardening is happening there as a result of that. Now, I leased that to the Corporation for Findlay Market for $1 a year. When I first came down here, I came down because a friend asked me for some help, and at that time it was I'm pretty fearless kind of a guy, but going down Vine Street, it was pretty scary. I mean, there have been 80 people got murdered down here and whatever. But fortunately, God had a reason for getting me down here. I mean, you know, it's always in God's time. And I was passionate about philanthropy, that I knew, but I'm not really hands-on with the people. I like to helping those people, but what happened was I'd go down Vine Street and I'd see all these black people, and I was a little apprehensive about that. The wonderful thing that happened is I was forced to stay in this area for a while, and I discovered the beauty of this area, and I fell in love with the culture, and I fell in love with the people. And it's so easy to help these people. They have so little. And I don't know why God gives one more than another, but He has a reason, and my joy is it's so easy to help them. And the way that I help them is by connecting them. It's not money that solves the problem. It's not, that's not the solution to so many of the problems. They want a job. They don't want a handout. They just want some help. Well, the way that I can help them the most is to help those down here who are capable of helping them. So I just encourage everybody. You can all make such a difference, and that's where the joy of life is, in making the difference. The joy of life is in giving, and I think about our situation there. But as a society, it seems like we have to wait till it's an emergency, because together is at the center of everything I think. That's the magic. That's what God's blessed me to identify in my journey, is the power of together.